We are Jalen. What is it that we do?
We take the time. We have the passion and the energy to the
Yes. We have Cam Newton controversy. We have the Celtics getting beat by the Pelicans, but we start with the hottest team in basketball right now this minute, the Brooklyn Nets. They beat the Clippers after beating the Lakers, and it was Harden and Kyrie that carried them combined for 65 points. Jalen, what do you think about this next streak?
Shame on you when you step through. It's terrific to watch how Kyrie Irving, I was watching him play basketball, and I came with a new nickname for him. Iverson. When I'm watching, it was like a combination of Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson. That's how he's playing right now. And when he goes to James Harden and says, I want you to be focused on the point guard responsibilities, what he's basically saying is, you worry about keeping those other guys happy, including me. Let me go out and score a bucket. And that's what he's focused on doing. It's actually been a joy to watch both of those guys tagging with KD.
It was, and it was with both Kyrie and KD out that James Harden took to beat that Phoenix team. They beat the Warriors, they beat the Sacramento Kings, they beat the Suns, they beat the Lakers, and now they beat the Clippers. They're on a 6-win streak, and everyone decides their defense. Well, what? After that game against your Pistons, because you know we'll play well against the Pistons, you have some conversations with yourself. In this winning streak, you can see the opponent's field goal percentages are out the same, but look at the point differential. Look at the steals differential. And those are the numbers, but the eye test really matches to it too. They've committed to defense, get key stops in the games. And I saw something I haven't seen in a long time, Jalen. You know what I saw? James Harden working on defensive glass. He doesn't always get the rebound, but he's pushing people around and he's getting tapped. They're putting a lot of energy onto that end of the floor, and it's really paying off. Do you agree?
I definitely agree. And the one thing I still want to see that they're going to iron out, Jacob, is they're still taking turns. It's two of the dynamic three. When KD comes back, there's going to be box scores. We look up at the end of the third, and one of those guys are going to hovering around 10 points. That's what I want to see. How they're going to distribute the what per se offensively when each of those guys are in the lineup. Now, Joe Harris is getting more shots. You can Brown in the PD. You can have Andre Jordan catch balls. Like, there's opportunities for everybody. But when the big dog returns to the yard, Kevin Durant, now all of a sudden got to redistribute wealth. So that's what we're waiting to see, how those numbers are going to change once KD returns to the lineup.
Well, Bruce, I'm glad you mentioned him. He adds so many that they need, does such for them that is positive, doesn't end up in the box score. Jalen, you know there's only one number that really matters for the team, and that is on the scoreboard. So I think it'll be a problem if they're losing, but if they keep winning, everything will be fine. And something I really wanted to talk to you about specifically, and that is Paul George being pulled at the end of the fourth quarter. Now, he's on a minutes restriction, but I have some questions of this. Number one, he's on a minutes restriction. Is it Tyler's job to make sure that he can finish the game and not play earlier in the game? And number two, if he's on a minutes restriction and there's 11 seconds left and you need a bucket, can't you put him in for 11 seconds?
It's one of those things, Jacoby. I hate to tell this to media members and fans, but on some teams, most teams, the coach and or the player now have to tell the training staff and or management that I want to play anyway. That only way to use what happened yesterday. Paul George has to go to the squad and say, I feel really good. Allow me to manage my body. And in situations like that, if I want to be in, I'm going to be in. That may be a conversation or not be a conversation that they're having today. But the way it played out, if you're the coaching staff, you have to manage this minutes knowing that it may be a 4-quarter game. Now it goes into overtime and double overtime. You can't account for it. But you know, in a 4-quarter game, if he's going to over around 33 minutes, you probably want to make sure he's available the last 4 or 5 of the game.
Especially when he's playing as well. He had 34 points in just 33 minutes. If I was Ty Lue and I only had 33 with Paul George, I would take him out after he's played 20 and put him back in with 5 left in the game. Jalen, moving on to another big game, and that was the Celtics and the Pelicans. This one was fascinating for so many different reasons. But in the end, it was the combination Zion and Brandon Ingram were just too much for the Celtics defense.
There are other things I took away from this game. Kemba Walker's been struggling basically all season. Williams gave the 6 quality minutes defensively at the 5 spot. I don't anticipate you're going to see a lot of Trent Thompson after you saw Zion Williamson bowl over like that, and he feel like a folding chair. And Daniel Tice is doing what he can competitively, but he's not as good as some of the people that he's going to beat against. Let's make this all about the Pelicans. When Stan Van Gundy first took the job, people follow his track record, understand that he's going to eventually get them to compete defensively, and not one of the best defensive teams in the league. The things that he has done feature Zion. When they want to tip ball, they're giving the ball to Zion. They're using him the way the Bucks are using Giannis. He's initiating the offense. Everybody's spotting up, and he's able to make a play. And once turns the corner, there's a reason why he's 19 points per game in the paint, and that leads to he's virtually unstoppable. And when you cut him off, he has the handle. He has the skills to kick it out to Ingram, who hit dagger, and still gave me a nice 33 points in the win.
Yeah, Zion had a really nice assist, and I just love the way that they're using him. He's got the ball in his hand. He's dribbling than I've ever seen him dribbling thus far, and it worked out. But it is worth mentioning, the Celtics were up by 24 points in this game, and they were kind of cruising. I caught my eye off the TV. I don't think it was going to be a blowout, and then they fell up. The Celtics certainly have things that they need to, as you mentioned earlier. And Jalen, we've all seen it now. Cam is at a 7-7 camp, and this conversation happened off the internet.
Cam.
You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You about to be booked. I'm rich. You about to be booked. I'm rich. You about to be booked. I'm rich. You're a free agent. You're a free agent. He's still here. Your daddy is. Let me your dad. He's up to your dad. Where's your dad? You're a agent. Where's your dad?
It's mentioning a few things that follow from this. One, Cam, this young man, had another conversation that was much more cordial and mature, and this young man has gone to Twitter with a lengthy apology, which is exactly what you would have expected. Your perspective on these events, Rose?
He is a young man, and I'm glad he learned from his misstep, and I'm pretty sure it's going to make him a better human being because of it. But I want to focus on the interaction, and I want everybody to listen to me extremely close. When you talk about that video, if the first thing comes out of your mouth that he shouldn't be talking to Cam like that because Cam is a terrific football player that won the championship at Auburn. Cam is a guy that won the MVP for the Panthers. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. If you're hitting me with Cam accolades, you're also a part of the problem. See, people that like me for so very long, Jacoby, we get judged not only about how we produce, but we get judged by what have you done for me lately. We get judged by our accolades. How about the fact that that young man disrespect his elder? How about that that's a young man who's at a camp that's sponsored by Cam Newton, is doing something to give back to Carolina, the community that he put in for so many years. Adults garner respect. You remember there was a time when people would actually hold the door for somebody elderly or give up a chair so they could sit down or help somebody carry a bag to the car or just be of service to someone else. Those days have now left us with social media. We now judge everybody for their accolades and how much money that they make. Young people, stop looking at us. People that look like me, and it's only 5 successful black people. It's like Brian, Magic, Denzel, and that's it. You know how many times I've been in that situation, Jacoby? You know how many times I've been in basketball camps and somebody raised their hand and want to tease me about Bobby Hurd? Or want to tease about losing Shaq and Kobe in the finals. Or want to tease me about Kobe scoring 81. And there's an opportunity for them to learn from me when the people in their mind or on social media, they call me a scrub. They call me a scrub. They call me a bum. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, after everything accomplished, if you type those words, if you still say those words out of your mouth, you're the problem. And I like that Cam handled it, but I want to give out one last bit of. I actually don't love his response. His response actually fed into the problem. His response fell back on, I'm rich. That's not our value, people. Our money, our celebrity, our accolades, our fame, that is not value. That's just a young man disrespect his elder, is what I saw.
Whether it's Cam Newton, whether it's one of the other coaches, whether it's someone that works in equipment, whether it's a server around whoever it is, you should be talking to your elder like that. Jalen, that was certainly respectful, but it wasn't nearly as respectful as this dunk from Anthony Edwards. I know you've seen it by now. We've all seen it 100 times. And Jacoby, Jalen, now time for the segment where you decide what we discuss. It is Keep It Moving.
Wu-Tang! Wu-Tang!
If you want to discuss Big Say, hit the brakes. We will keep it moving, and we will start with Deion Sanders' debut as a head
Hit the
coach.
brakes.
We're going to hit the on this. His team 53-0, but everyone's discussing what happened while he was coaching. Some of his items were stolen. He was upset about it. His press conference. Your thoughts?
I'll venture to say that I'm the number one fan of Deion Sanders. Not only as a player, but as a man. Jacoby, I don't know if you realize that, but that gentleman is one of my spiritual advisors. That gentleman is one of mentors. He was somebody when I was in high school and I was in college, I played with his jersey in my locker. I idolize Deion Sanders. You see me come on this show with a Jackson University hat on the day after he got the job. And the reason why I want to set the table is a few reasons. I've never told this story publicly. We're talking about the items being stolen. We're not talking about the score of the game. And his team now, and they played really well and got him his victory. I'm proud of him. He took a leap of faith and take a job. And he's going to be a lead down to a lot of black people that understand that they can go to HBCUs and still make an impact, unlike in the NCAA. I was at JRLA about 10 years ago, the Jalen Leadership Academy, school that I founded on the northwest of Detroit, the neighborhood I grew up in. I walk outside one day, my car was broken into. So first thing I think is, what should I do? And I was like, I ain't gonna call insurance. I ain't gonna say nothing publicly. I'm not gonna even tell the staff. If you didn't see it, you don't know what happened. Let me give you some game why I did. Because when you're trying to get back to your community and something like that happens to you, now give somebody outside of your community the license to judge you and your community saying, see, he trying to help him out and look, they do him. That's why I try to help them out. Now we're talking about items being stolen. We're not talking about the score of the game. I guarantee, and I believe this was the second time he some things stole him. If this does happen again, or if he could do it again, I don't believe he would have said it at press conference, because there are a lot of people saying they would have said if I acknowledged that my car got broken into at the school that found it in my neighborhood.
Well put, Mr. Rose. We obviously have one of the best dunks of the keep moving and hit the break. It was Anthony Edwards. Had a three and decided not to three and then did that. What did you think of this dunk?
You nasty boy, you nasty. How about this example? And you know I'm visual with these this verbiage. That is something that makes me want to call Crime Stops. Okay? That right there should be illegal. And when you come to the place and you take prisoners, you don't want to leave witnesses. And after he left that night, he even took over the fish tank. No witnesses. That was
over the fish tank. Jalen, looks like Boogie Cousins might not be long for Houston. Can we hit the brakes?
Boogie's my guy, sponsor of JRLA. He will land his feet soon. Keep it moving for now.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
Quietly, the Toronto Raptors have been
hit the brakes.
Around
hit the brakes really quick.
They got a big win over the Sixers. They've been pretty hot lately. Think.
Raptors have gotten healthy, everyone, and they beat a lot of top teams in the East Conference. Nick Nurse, Fred VanVleet, this squad, Pascal Siakam, has found a groove. So when you're talking about the East, don't forget Toronto and don't forget Indiana. Remember, I told you that.
Jalen, Ryan Saunders is no longer the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Keep moving and hit the brakes.
I'm not surprised by this. It was fortunate that he got that opportunity. I love this to flip, but he just did it done. Keep it moving now.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
We're unclear about the future of Tiger Woods and his involvement in the Masters. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Tiger Woods is a made man. He's going to play when he wants to play. He's going to sit when he wants to sit. Keep moving for now.
We can move in. We can move.
J.J. Watt had an interesting answer when asked why he signed with the team yet. Moving or hit the brakes.
Hit brakes.
He was asked on Twitter why he hadn't signed with the team yet, and he said it takes an hour to pick a restaurant on DoorDash. Why don't you think he's taking this long? How long is it going to pick a restaurant when you're ordering food?
It doesn't take me long to pick a restaurant because I'm moody, but it takes a long time to pick a drink at a bar. As you talk, I'll have a go-to.
It's just you do not have a go-to. Annoying. When we come back, we will finally celebrate the huge win for the Michigan.
Want to celebrate my Hail to the victors. And I want to give a shout out to players. Our leadership, our upperclassmen have been terrific this year on and off the floor. Livers as you drive into the bucket. Smith, that point, has been doing an excellent job. Grind defensively on the team. We also have big fella down low, Dickinson, as you see him finishing with the left hand. I really believe the Michigan Wolverines have what it takes to down the nets this year. Juwan has Michigan playing the best basketball in the Big Ten since the mid-'70s.
Not only did the men's team beat the Buckeyes, so did the women's team. Big shout out to them as well. It is time for Soft Move or Bump Move. Relief told a story where him and Kevin Durant were to the club, and at the club at the Velvet Rope, we've all been before. Apparently, Kevin Durant group was allowed to enter, and they said no to Wiz Khalifa. Kevin Durant looked at Wiz Khalifa and said, guess I'll talk later. Soft Move.